Alright, what is going on, y'all? Alchemy has released, and we are playing it today. The format has been pretty interesting so far. Most of the decks care about attacking and blocking, so it's been pretty interesting and fun. And to take advantage of most of the decks wanting to care about attacking and blocking, we are going to play Lifegain, which, one, makes the largest creatures through our absurd amount of counters in Voice of the Blessed and Hallowed Priests with all our Lifegain triggers, and two, is much better at racing if you're trying to attack and block because we are, gaining life, so our opponent has to deal more damage to us than we have to do to them. And it's felt pretty good so far. This Lifegain deck has done well. Our Lifegain triggers come from Lunarch Veteran and Traveling Minister primarily, also for Righteous Valkyries, because most of these cards are clerics. It's possible you want two more Traveling Ministers. The deck really wants a 1-drop that can gain life, but this is the version I've been playing. And yeah, new cards we want to look at here. We have some Faithful Disciple from the Alchemy set, 2-mana 2/2 Vigilance Cleric. When it dies, you draft a card from the spellbook, which mostly is good for our going wide kind of thing. A couple things that gain life. All That Glitters is not one we'll usually take. We do have a couple enchantments and artifacts with Book of the Exalted Deeds and the Cleric Class. But, yeah. Makes tokens, Banishing Light, good removal. Divine Visitation turns our Adeline 1/1s into 4/4 angels, if that's the kind of memes you're looking for. Duelist Heritage is a very good one, 3-mana enchantment that gives any attacking creature you control double strike, or a single one each turn, but it's good. Ambitious Farmhand, not a cleric, but helps the mana run smoother, and also turns into a 3/3 lifelinker, which is good for our life gain stuff. Inquisitor Captain, new card as well. Alchemy, 4-mana, 3/3 Vigilance, is a cleric as well, so goes with the Righteous Valkyrie. When it enters the battlefield, our entire deck is pretty much creatures with mana value 3 or less, so it enters the battlefield, it seeks 2 of them, so it pulls 2 at random out of your deck, and you get to choose one of them to put onto the battlefield, and the other one goes into your library. A very good little extra value here, kind of like a Collected Company if you're into that sort of thing. Except, of course, it is sorcery speed because it's just a creature. Sigarda Splendor, another life gain payoff, 4-mana enchantment. This has been around a little bit, but haven't seen it too much. Whenever you cast a white spell, you gain 1 life. Beginning of your upkeep, if your life total is greater than the last time it noted it, you get to draw cards. So just a good way to keep the value coming if you have your life gain going on. And of course, we're really relying on Cleric Class to gain that much life +1, and then give the Heliod effect, and then give us Graveyard Recursion, just to keep us in the game in those grindy matchups. Otherwise, we just try to run them down with our A-Luminarch Aspirants and things that are Ajani's Pridemate lookalikes. 1 Book of Exalted Deeds, because I'm gaining 3 life a lot, and also running A-Faceless Haven and all white mana, so no reason not to. We have the A-Faceless Haven combo, even though there are quite a few ways to deal with it at the moment with the new 4-mana dragon that turns off a land, as well as Field of Ruin, but this makes angels and is usually worth it, just on the angel part. Yeah, that is the deck. Usually want to get the Anthem from Righteous Valkyrie, happens quite a bit, and then we can just run stuff over. Let's go try it out. Seems okay. We can play Adeline. We're on the play. Adversary on 4. Nothing to make the voice start going. Wish I had that last turn. But here I think I just want the lands. Yeah, 2/2, sure. Alright, that's good. Now we can play Lunarch into voice instead of Adeline without attacking here. If this voice lives, we're off to the races. Stormseeker, huh? I think I just take the 3. I don't think our opponent wants to race with the amount of life we should be gaining. And our late game is probably bigger. Blizzard Brawl, they don't have 3 snow sources though, so it's 2 for 1 for us, not bad. We do lose the voice, of course, which is pretty big. And here we can get the Adeline down, or the Adversary. Adeline's probably better. Less likely to die to their removal with 4 toughness. Okay, our opponent is prepared for the long game, but no good attacks. Ooh, there's another voice. It's probably better than the Adversary here. Just go wide and tall. And keep hitting our land drops, so maybe next turn we can Adversary twice. And do I want to trade Adeline for both their 2/2s? Probably not. So we'll just sit back. Once we Adversary, our attacks get better. They get to flip their Stormseeker here. I don't think that's too much of an issue. And the Arlen, of course. Tapped land is a bit unfortunate. I suppose we can flip a Farmhand and then Adversary twice next turn is not bad either. Let's see. This gets flying and vigilance here, so that's almost certainly the play. And doubtful they have anything with reach that's going to come in here. So we can try and kill Arlen. Come on, internet. There we go. They get to eat the 1/1, of course, but it gives us another life gain trigger. Yep, on turn, we can do this at instant speed. It's already night, so we don't lose anything by not casting a spell there. Our opponents almost played out their hand, and nothing looks that good into our board. Should be pretty good. Especially our board with +2/+2. Yep, 5/4. Doesn't really attack into the 7/7. I think I'll just trade away the farmhands here for their 5/4. Do I? Or do I just not bother and take 11 here? I'm at 25. Yeah, just take it. We'll save our lifelink for the backswing. I'm assuming they have some sort of trick there, or else they wouldn't attack those into the 7/7. Next turn will be big enough that we don't care what tricks they have. And still at 14 with this board, I'm not in imminent danger or anything. Do I want to flip it back to day instead of getting an Anthem? Probably not, huh? Suppose if they have some sort of instant speed removal for that, then we get to do that, but they scoop to the Adversary. Good game. Yeah, good example of how Lifegain just goes way over the top of the other creature decks in this current Alchemy format. Alright, no way Teferi's playing Werewolves, right? on the play, this should be okay. Of course, I'd love a 1-drop life gainer, but you can't have everything. Come on. Alright, back after restarting this flawless client. And we draw the Lunarch Veteran. Our opponent's playing red, so they might just kill it, but it's still the best play here. Yeah, they have priority. Let's either play with fire or Spikefield Hazard. Spikefield Hazard, unfortunate, as now we can't disturb it. But their burn spells might have some trouble against Adeline. Or we can play the Valkyrie and hope our life gain cards next turn get better. It's just as difficult for them to kill. I suppose that's fine. Against some sort of red burn, we want to gain life. No 4 damage burn spell, please. I'm not letting them get a 2-for-1 here. Our Righteous Valkyrie is definitely too important, so no blocks. Alright, so now we can play both our 2-drops rather than a 2-drop plus Cleric Class. Seems pretty good. Gain 2, they kill it. Sure, this transforms. And make another 2/2. And I think we start attacking here. We are the life gain, we shouldn't be too afraid. Though we are currently out of life gain. Until we pop this Cleric Class. What's this? Cast your next instant or sorcery, you get to quasi-draw 3. That's pretty good. Well, let's see if Adeline can do things. Yeah, looks like Adeline can do things. They still have priority, so I think the Traveling Minister is going to just die if we play it, so we'll go for the class. See how many removal spells our opponent has here. Of course, the next one they play casts a second one. No, they want to draw off the top. Okay. Guess that means these 3 cards aren't that good, or they just want to use that ability before we perhaps remove their Embodiment of Flame. Right, so they're going to 2-for-1 the Adeline here. That's fine. And then play with fire my face. Okay. Yeah, that card's putting in work here. Second Righteous Valkyrie might stop that, though. Play my 1-drop, gain 4 life. Seems reasonable. I think we are once again racing. Our opponent refuses to draw a blank. Chandra adds mana, could be a problem. But unlikely that she survives the turn. guess if we pop the Cleric Class, we can get Adeline back, or Voice of the Blessed, both of which are very strong at the moment. Surprised they play the Shatter Skull there. They have lots of good places to cast that. Book doesn't do anything at the moment. I think we just want more counters. And Chandra draws cards, so we do have to kill her here. Alright, our opponent finally draws a creature. Still not the mountains I would like them to be drawing, though. There's one. Though I suppose they can't kill my 2/4s, which I should be happy about. They're just gonna shock my face here? Or do they have shock plus play with fire to kill a 2/4? Okay, none of those are castable this turn, which is good, so they waste that trigger. I take 3, and then I can't quite get back the Valkyrie yet because we don't have the land. Well, we'll play these out. And then with Book on the field, once we do get to pop up Cleric Class, we get to draw cards. And I think we hold back the Valkyrie now to block a Den of the Bugbear. Seems relevant. These Embodiments of Flame are really going off here, though. Suppose that happens when every spell in your deck deals damage, and you have 4 of these Electrostatic Blasts, which then draw more spells. Our opponent's halfway through their deck and has seen 7 lands. They might be playing some absurdly low land count as well. Really, they give up their channelers. Alright. Well, that's as good a draw as we could hope for. Though their next burn spell probably just kills it. Yeah. Need a land here then, or another good creature. Not terrible. We can at least trade with a Bugbear and then get us a card. Or trade with the last removal spell in their hand, sure. This also draws cards, yeah. Oh, that exiles, that's unfortunate. So now we start getting wrecked. We get a land, though, and a 5 toughness Adeline. No land will be had today. But Righteous Valkyrie is still good. Does block the Den unless they have something else. No, they just have 2 more burn spells. How does our opponent get away with their 14 land deck? Or no, they're not killing it here. They have to hit something off the Geist Flame. No, Geist Flame can kill damage, deal damage, sure. And tapped land, of course. Take another 5 here. And they get to draw a card. Well, that's pretty good. What a card. And we can't sack this land because we need it to activate our Cleric Class. Never mind. So I think it's the Righteous Valkyrie here because it can block the flyer. And gains us more life in the future. we still get to go off here. Get that up to 4, get this higher. Life total back to 21, by the way. I guess our opponent's land count's not that low. They've cast 3 spike fields now. All 4 spike fields, actually. And they top the Shatter Skull to kill both of my giant creatures. That is rough. We'll take the action now. We have 5 lands. Do the same thing again. Seems good. We can also top deck Faceless Haven at any point, and then we are unable to lose. Oh, and we get to 27 now. That should help. Our opponent has seen 15 more cards than we have. It's a good way to see a bunch more cards. And it can hit my face here to take us off 27. Chandra Plus also takes us off 27. Let's see, Den of the Bugbear is not red and it says cast. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. And gain life, gain life, gain life. Let's just put these over here. We get an angel at the end of turn, which can block their tyrant, so we can attack with both of these and stop their card draw. Maybe I should just be going face, but crushing their dreams is more fun. Gain 5. Up to 35. Your go, Mono Red Mage. What is this? If you have 20 or more instant or sorceries in your deck, you may discard a card. If you do, seek an instant or sorcery. They don't have a card in hand to discard, so they do not get to seek. And them reading the card there implies that they also did not see the discard a card line. And we got him. Lifegain is good against burn. Who would have thought? Yeah, that's a hand. Lunarch Veteran and 3 creatures that trigger off gaining life. As long as this veteran doesn't die, we should be good. Of course, very much expecting this veteran to die before our second turn. Against Izzet too. Alright, backup veteran. That makes me feel much better. -3. I'm ready for this removal spell. Probably deciding if they want to hit the veteran or wait for our next play. Wait for the next play it is. Let's try and attack first. I don't think there's any 2-mana flash creatures with more than 1 toughness. Sure. And I'll play the Hallowed Priest to try and get a removal spell out of them before we get the Voice of the Blessed down. Yep. Orb. I guess they're on dragons, and they miss a land drop. Should be off to the races then. This goes up to a 4/4, which they can probably still kill if they have another Dragon's Fire. But shouldn't matter. If they miss the land there, we might be far enough ahead. Also, this Inquisitor Captain should get us more gas. Foretell. That's probably game. We'll get these down. They should probably concede here, regardless of what they're playing, though it's almost certainly some sort of dragon tribal. Trigger, 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 trigger. Attack for 10. Your move. Yeah. Got him. Yeah, when we're on the play, we can kind of just pop off and not care what they're doing, even if they do miss the land drop. Not the best example of that, but you saw how powerful that was. Yeah, veteran into voice on the play. Should be fine. This new board is kind of pretty too. Christmas themed, very nice. I like the ice going on here against green. They probably won't be able to kill our voice immediately. Seems good. Green-white has a much better chance of removing it. Foretell, huh? Well, Farmhand lets us hit land, so I'm going to go with that. And get in for 5. Doomscar, classic. Get our faithful disciples out, at least gets value if they kill it. Hallowed Priest doesn't do anything without a life gainer around. Would have liked to have hit land there, of course. Our opponent does not miss the land drop. Okay. Can get the Splendor down. Might be worth it. They probably don't have a good way to remove it. Most people don't just run enchantment removal at the start of a format. Ominous Traveler draws a tribal creature. I believe that's what's in its spellbook. Yeah, vampires, werewolves, spirits, and zombies. Interesting. Okay, they acquire a 2/1. Bounce their thing. They can probably play it again. Get another creature. No? Seems like a good play. No, Foretell again. Okay, draw a card. Nice. And now we have life gain, so we can play out these Hallowed Priests. I suppose we'll attack first, though. They probably just want to trade. We might get something off the Faithful Disciple that we would rather cast. Glorious Anthem is probably our best bet here. They're not playing that many creatures, we don't have that many artifacts and enchantments. But we should get some creatures down first. This is probably another Doomscar, so I'll play the other Disciple rather than both Hallowed Priests. And if it's not another Doomscar, then we play Glorious Anthem, and we're happy. Ominous Traveler is kind of sweet, definitely going to get them a lot of value here. But we have our own value with Sigarda Splendor. Champion of the Parish probably isn't going to do that much here. They need more zombies for it to be good, and probably their only zombies are the 4 or so. 3? No, 4 on the Ominous Traveler. Of course, they managed to draft a second one off their Ominous Traveler. But we're drawing 2 cards turn 2, so it's fine. Anthem into book seems okay. Jumpies down to 9. Nice. One life off triggering the book, but that's fine. If we draw any spell next turn, we should be able to. And our Hallowed Priest is still going off. They get Intro to Annihilation on the book. I guess they're really afraid of the combo. Personally, I think Sigarda Splendor is a much bigger problem for them, especially drawing that Voice of the Blessed. Though, if their deck doesn't have an answer to the Faceless Haven and we drop it there, we do just win the game on the spot, so perhaps that is right. Let's see, they have to block this Hallowed Priest no matter what, so there's no point in playing out the rest of our hand just yet. Question is, do I want to play out the rest of my hand? Especially if they double chump here. That probably just means they're sweeping again, so I'll save these for later. We already gained life, so Sigarda Splendor will draw us a card. Yeah. Good read, not playing into that. Do I have tokens? Not really. We'll just play another Glorious Anthem. I do have Adeline to get tokens, so those token cards aren't dead in this deck, but I do not currently have Adeline in my hand, so Glorious Anthem will be better. Opponent gets back a Sweeper. Interesting. There's a Faceless Haven. Let's see, can I just drop Anthem and attack them for 5? Not quite. We need 1 more mana to do that. So we'll just make them sweep again. Play our Anthem here. So that's a 4/4. That's probably bigger than anything they can play at the moment. So we can hold back these 2. Also, if they spend their turn sweeping, we can just Faceless Haven and Cave of the Frost Dragon, right? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. No, not quite. Alright, we'll hold these back then. Once we can do both of those, then we really want to force them to sweep. Because then they tap out and we can just kill them with our lands. But as long as we cast 1 spell a turn for Sigarda Splendor, we should be okay. Ominous Traveler again. Do they get another 1-drop? Probably just attacking with the flyer here. They don't seem to be gaining life. So 2 hits from the flyer will probably finish them off. Cleric Class seems pretty good here. And power this up. And maybe put a counter on the cave. Probably not necessary though. Was Valkyrie lethal? No, not quite. Cave is a 2-turn clock either way. Don't need to put a counter on it. See if they can find a flyer off their Ominous Traveler, probably what they're looking for here. Okay, that doesn't do it. I get to take control of my Hallowed Priest and hit me for 3, but that's not going to do much. Let's see. This only sacrifices a vampire. So yeah, they are dead. To the cave. It does stop us from drawing off the Sigarda Splendor, that's true. But this is GG. Good stuff. Can go toe-to-toe with this mid-range pile. Did we see any spells other than Sweepers and Ominous Traveler? And the Celestis? Balliged Recovery, I suppose. And the Professor was not from their drafting. Interesting. Quite a pile there. Good stuff. What a format. Right, back to go over things. That was a lot of fun. Very much excited about how Alchemy is going so far. Those matches were pretty much all interesting. As for changes to the deck, probably go up to 4 Traveling Ministers. Not sure what to cut. That Sigarda Splendor really did a lot of work in the last game. Maybe it's the farmhands if you don't really want to hit your lands. Maybe it's Luminarch Aspirant. It is significantly less good now that the counter is on end step, but it's still, of course, great. Maybe it's the Adelines, maybe it's the book. But yeah, having more of these 1-drops that gain life makes your turn 2 Hallowed Priest and Voice of the Blessed so much better. It's probably worth it. Shout out to Faithful Disciple, definitely made some of the longer games more winnable with the spellbook, giving us those enchantments that make our board better. Glorious Anthem is quite a drug. Yeah, I think the new digital-only stuff is cool. Inquisitor Captain got to do some stuff. Should be good. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching.